Without framing a sentence, we cannot express our thoughts or ideas, and this is the reason we need to understand this chapter very well. Sentence. So let's start with the definition of sentence. So what is sentence? A sentence is a group of words arranged in an order to make a complete sense or meaning. Like for example, if I say, suppose if I have few words, if I arrange few words not in a proper order, not according to grammar, then obviously it will not have any sense or meaning. So then we cannot call those lines as sentences. Like for example, if I say Rohit no English nothing, is it a sentence? No, because it does not make a sense to my listener. So if I say Rohit knows how to speak English, it is a sentence because it is making a sense to my listener. That's why it's a sentence. So I hope you have understood what is the meaning of sentence. Now apart from this also, if I would like to tell you, a sentence can be used in many ways. Like it can be used as a statement, it can be used as a question. When you ask somebody a question, that is also obviously a sentence. Not apart from that, like if you are making a request or if you're advising someone something, then if you are commanding someone something or if you are ordering someone something, so these all expressions of yours will be sentences. You can do that only with the help of sentences. So what I'll do is that right now I'll tell you what are the parts of sentence. There are two parts of sentence. One is subject, another is predicate. If you see, I have written in a very short format way what is subject. Subject is for person or thing doing an action or focus of the sentence. Means the person or the thing about what we talk or what we express in the sentence, that is our subject. Like if for example, let us take an example like Rishi is a good friend of mine. So Rishi, I'm talking about Rishi, so Rishi is my subject. Now suppose if I'm saying the ink of my marker is not quite good, so here I'm talking about marker. So marker is, or the ink, you can say also the ink. The ink, I'm talking about the ink of the marker. So obviously this is subject. Then if I say computer is not functioning properly, so here computer is subject because about computer I'm talking about. So it can be a person, it can be a thing. And about the person, what we speak or what we want to convey about that person or thing, that is predicate. Like over here also I have written what the subject does, part which contains the action. So obviously what the subject does, that's actually the predicate. So I hope I have made you understood what are the parts of sentence. Now a sentence can be positive or negative also. Means I can call a sentence as a positive sentence, as a negative sentence also. Very simply I'll make you understand. Positive sentences are those where you do not put generally do not put no or never or does not or do not. So where you don't use these words, that is positive sentences, and where you using these words, that is negative sentences. You can see in the board also I have written a very short format. Positive sentence, like if you are using the pronouns like I, you, we, they, with that you have to use a base verb. Then again if you are using a negative sentence, also something like that only, I, you, we, they, with that do not or base verb. So what you have understood, like suppose I'm saying I like noodles. So this is a positive sentence because I have not used any word related to no, do not or does not. But if I say I do not like noodles, that is a negative sentence. So I hope I have made you understood with this particular example. After this we'll learn the most important part, that is the kinds of sentences. So a sentence is basically four, but there is another one was there, we can say there are five. Okay, so five kinds of sentences are there. Number one, assertive or declarative sentence. Under assertive or declarative sentences, you have to just remember one thing, that any statement or universal truth is assertive or declarative sentence. Any statement means any statement. Like if I'm saying Sachin is my favorite player, that is a statement. If I'm saying I have passed my exam, again, it all comes under statement. If I'm saying a universal truth, like universal truth means like something which is applicable for everyone in the world, in the universe. Like if I say sun rises in the east, this is a universal truth. This is not a statement, this is a universal truth. So that's why any universal truth or any statement comes under the category of assertive sentence. So whenever you hear a sentence or you frame a sentence which shows or express the idea of statement or universal truth, definitely it's an assertive or declarative sentence. Without a doubt, you can easily identify that. One more example I can give for universal truth: man is mortal. So obviously this is again a universal truth, so it is also comes under the category of assertive or declarative. Now if I come to the next one, which is interrogative. What is interrogative? Interrogative sentence, obviously you have understood from the word itself. Interrogative has come from the word called interrogation. Interrogation, from there this word has come. So this is interrogative sentence, means to ask question. So obviously you have understood a sentence which asks questions or which shows question is interrogative sentence. Like who are you, what do you do, what's your name? So these all are interrogative sentences, because you are asking a question to somebody. If somebody else is asking you also some questions, any sentence which shows a question, definitely that's an interrogative sentence. And obviously I would like to tell you one more thing: every interrogative sentence ends with a question mark. So this is also a very important point you need to remember. Every interrogative sentence ends with a question mark. Every assertive or declarative sentence ends with full stop. Now if I come to the third one, which is imperative. In imperative, just remember 3 key points. That is any command or order, advice, request. If any sentence shows these 3 things: command, order, request, and advice. If any sentence shows these things, then it is an imperative sentence. For example, I'll give you example of one, like command order. Like if I want to say to somebody like bring a glass of water for me. So you're ordering someone something, then, or you're commanding someone something. So that is imperative sentence. Now if I say if I'm requesting someone, could you please pass me the book? So it's a request. So this request is again imperative. Advice. Now if you advise someone something, like if I say in order to succeed you have to work hard. So this sentence is imperative sentence. Why? Because it shows that you're advising someone something. So this is imperative. The 4th one is exclamatory. Okay, imperative sentence again ends with full stop. Remember that. Obviously I have written all these things in bold. If you cannot see the board very properly, just zoom it in your video, and you can take a screenshot, and then you can easily understand what exactly I'm telling you. But it's better if you listen to me, because if when I'm explaining to you, if you're listening my words properly, if you're listening what I'm explaining, then I'm sure you don't need this board at all. You will easily understand everything about sentence. So the 4th one is exclamatory. Now exclamatory has come from the word called exclamation, which means a strong feeling, a sudden feeling, sudden thoughts. So when you have sudden thoughts, a strong feeling, a surprise feeling, so on that time what happens, we speak some sentences, and those sentences are not exactly pre-planned or something like that. It suddenly comes out from your mouth because of that sudden things, sudden thought or sudden feelings or something like that. So those sentences are called exclamatory sentences. Like for example, if I say, wow, what a beautiful dress. So wow, what a beautiful dress, this sentence is exclamatory sentence. Because why? Because it is not pre-planned something. You have not pre-planned or you have not thought before saying this to somebody. You suddenly met a person and suddenly the dress attracted you and you said, wow, what a dress. So that's obviously a sudden feeling, a sudden thought that has come out from your mouth in the form of expression. So that is called exclamatory sentences. And exclamatory sentences always ends with a exclamation mark. This mark, remember this mark, exclamation mark. The last one is optative. Optative is actually used, those sentences which are used as wish or prayer. So when you make a sentence or frame a sentence which shows wish or prayer, that's your optative sentence. So like example, if I have to take, may you live long, it's a wish. It's a wish that I'm saying. May you have the best of luck. So this wish or prayers are optative sentences. So I hope you have understood all these 5 kinds of sentences very well. So whenever you're framing sentence, now it's your task that you have to do. If you really want to get benefit, or if you think that this course should be useful to you, then just remember my few important tips that I'll be providing you, that I'll be giving you while explaining my chapter or something like that. So how to practice this 5 kinds of sentence? Very easy. Just read it twice or thrice and understand it properly. After that, frame sentences. You can write sentences also, you can frame more sentences also, or if you, when you read a book, try to identify those sentences that under which category it is coming. Understood my point? So if you do this practice for few days, obviously it will automatically come into you and you will not forget ever in your life. After this, I'll tell you something about sentence. 4 kind of sentence structures are there. Like when you frame a sentence, there are 4 kind of concepts are there about how to frame sentences. That is actually not required in your spoken English class, or you can say communicative English class, because I told you my motive is to make you understand and speak English. This course which I'm going to provide you through the help of these videos, I'll make more videos on the, as I told you, promised you, about parts of speech and tense. I'll do all those videos as well. So after all these videos, you will be able to understand and speak English quite well. I'm not saying you will become an expert. Even I don't consider myself as an expert. I'm just trying to teach you what I know. So this one is actually not required for your spoken English, but just for your knowledge, I'll just in a very short time I'll try to wrap up the things so that you can just have a knowledge about it. So later on, after these classes, if you think it's useful, you can go for advanced studies as well of English language course. So 4 sentences structure. So the number 1 is simple sentence. So when we frame a simple sentence, it is actually one independent clause is there. Now what is clause? Clause is a group of related words that contains a subject and a verb. So like suppose if I'm saying one independent clause, like suppose example also I've written, I kicked the ball. I kicked the ball. I ate the food. So these are independent clause. It is not dependent on any other sentences or clauses. So that's why it's called independent clause. Now what is independent? Dependent clause, I'll give you an idea. Independent clause are those which has a subject and a verb, and it does not need to depend on other clause to complete a meaning or sentence. So that's why it's called independent clause. Simple sentence. I kicked the ball. Compound sentence, when 2 or more independent clauses are there. When 2 or more. Like I helped the man and he succeed. I helped the man and he succeed. There are 2 independent clause are there. He succeed, it's an independent clause. I help the man, it's an independent clause. Both I merge together with the help of a conjunction and it is a compound sentence because 2 independent clauses are there. The third one, you have to understand very well this one, because this is its name is also complex. It's called complex sentence, and it is really complex to understand little bit. It's not that you will not understand, but if you understand this one very well, it is very easy. Complex sentence is one independent clause. I mean, it has to have one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. One or more dependent clauses. Like for example, let us take an example. Rob shouts because the person hit him. Now, Rob shouts. It is an independent clause, one independent clause. But the next one is a dependent clause, because the next one is because the person hit him. Now, because the person hit him, it's not a complete meaning or sense. Nothing is coming out very clearly. So that's why this clause is dependent on this. Just because this one independent clause is there, that's why it's making a complete meaning. Like suppose if I don't tell you Rob shouts, if I only tell you because the person hit him, it is not making any sense. So to make a sentence, you need one independent clause. So this kind of sentences are called complex sentences. Like Rob shouts because the person hit him. Now it is making a complete sense. So this is why it is called complex sentence. One independent clause and two or more dependent clause can be there. At least one independent clause should be there. The fourth one is compound complex, means it's a combination of this. Compound complex. So compound complex means two or more independent clauses, and one or more dependent clauses. Minimum of one dependent clauses and minimum two independent clauses and one dependent clauses. Like example, Rob shouts. So this is independent clause, one independent clause, because the person hit him. So this is again dependent clause, because the person hit him. Rob shouts because the person hit him, and then he apologized. So Rob shouts, one independent clause, because the person hit him, one dependent clause, and then he apologized. So another independent clause, and then he apologized, another independent clause. So two independent clause and one dependent clause is the minimum criteria for this to form a structure of compound complex sentence. So this is an example of compound complex sentence. Now if you have not understood this very well, go through my video again and again. Obviously my explanation will definitely help you.